The choices that you make in your youth will ultimately decide the sort of man that you grow up to be. I wish someone told me that when I was 16 years old. A couple of days ago, I brought my little brother to the doctor because he was having some issues. And a topic that came up was, do you or have you done any recreational drugs? Do you drink? Do you do anything like that? And of course, most young dudes, we did. He does. The doctor turned, he swiveled his chair around to me. He looked at me and he said, have you had this conversation with him? And I said, yes, I've had this conversation hundreds of times. As they started chatting again, I started to reminisce on my past from about 16 years old to about 22 years old, and all the stupid things I was doing during that time, and the fact that I had no clue what those things would actually ultimately do to me. The friends I had in high school, don't get me wrong, great dudes, loyal dudes. But as we grew older and we started to dabble and try new things, it went from this to that to the next thing, and you know how it goes. I found myself being surrounded by a bunch of things that, quite frankly, I wanted nothing to do with. And as time went on, I started to mentally disassociate myself with that sort of lifestyle, and I started to question just about every single thing I was doing with those friends. The bottom line is I felt myself slipping into degeneracy. I'm sure some of you experience this, where you get Snapchats of your friends that haven't slept and they're up at 6 a.m. or when they're out doing these crazy things and you see this concoction of substances and you have no clue what's going on. I saw those things and I witnessed those things, and I always questioned why. The older I got, the more I started to take mental notes, watching people, observing them, seeing how they act on these substances, seeing the things that they say and the things that they do. And the more I observed, the more I watched, I started to come to this conclusion at about 21 years old, where I thought, what am I doing here? I'm sure it's fun at some points, it was fun, but what am I doing here? Destroying my life? Is that what I'm trying to do? And me, I couldn't let that happen. And when I finally came to this realization, my life did a complete 180. And I didn't know it, but this is the point where I stopped on that road and started going in the other direction. This is where my self-improvement journey began. I started to distance myself from those people. I started going to the gym, and then the next thing you know, oh, I gave up cigarettes. And then I realized, wow, if I can do this, if I can give up cigarettes and go to the gym, something I imagined myself never doing, then what else can I do? And from that day on, I decided to be a man that went after what he wanted. By doing this, by stepping away, changing the course of my life, I lost friends, best friends, that I thought would be in my life forever. They're just gone, vanished, and I haven't seen them in years. But because of their trajectory in life, because of the path they were leading, I wanted nothing to do with that, and I knew I had to get away from it. I became such a better person because of that. I have zero regrets. And there'll be times where I reminisce on those glory days, and I reminisce on all the good times and the camaraderie that I had with those people. But then I'll snap back to reality. I'll look around and realize I'm so grateful that I stepped away from those people, and I'm so grateful that I changed my life trajectory. It's never, ever too late to change your life for the good. Doesn't matter if you're 16 years old, doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. There's always something you can do to change the path of your life. And anyone that tells you, oh, it's too late to change your life, this is just who you are now. Fuck those people. They need to be removed from your life immediately. Put your shirt on, bro, because you got work to do.